Welcome to JobSkillshare.org. I am creating 2018 Active Directory training for help desk. Basically, I am trying to create a video where I am going to show you why you need to learn about Active Directory as a help desk. Because first, if you go to a real world job environment right now, try to look for a job in Indeed.com. I just did a random search. As you can see, many of these job skills requirement, they're going to put something like this: extensive experience supporting users in Windows Active Directory environment. This means they're asking you, do you know how to add a user? Do you know how to support people in Active Directory and do some certain things that we as an help desk, an IT professional, this could be anyone. Probably your system administrator also needs to know this. All this stuff needs to be kind of like a part of your job. So this is why I created kind of like I've been doing this for a while now. My first video was right here. When I created my first video, it was in 2012 when I created this basic Active Directory training for IT support. So that was 2008 server. As you can see, there's 200,000 views on top of it. Then I created one in 2014. That's a different server. Then 2016, I used a 2016 server, and you can see all of these videos have its own impact. Now, if you have already seen these videos, maybe this may not be too beneficial for you, but maybe you might find something like new, like labs and everything. One of the most important thing in these things that I try to share is how quickly you can get to the labs, and I try to show some examples and things like that. Now, there are two ways you can get the labs from this video. Is that a lot of people are going to follow this video now, and they're going to be asking me, hey, you shared the Microsoft labs, where are those labs? Now, Microsoft usually take the lab out and then they took it out again, so I really can't keep up with their labs right now, because they sometimes even restrict it. And even if you go to the labs, like my very first video, the way I showed that how you can get the free lab, they're not there anymore, so we can't keep up with that. This is why we have our own platform now where we provide labs, so then you have full 1-year access to these labs. Now, first, I want to start with free, because a lot of people, when they start looking at videos, they want to do everything for free. So I want to give that option too. So make sure you go to YouTube. First of all, you need to go to YouTube here and search JobSkillshare and subscribe. That is the best thing you can do for me. And then you can go to JobSkillshare again and the youtube.com and type JobSkillshare VirtualBox. And here is the perfect example where you can download your own VirtualBox, get the Microsoft Server ISO, which is like a 180 days free trial, and then you follow these directions in this video and everything will be set for you. Now, if you are in that situation where you don't want to mess up with other softwares and stuff like that, and you don't have resources and you want a paid option, then we give you practice labs. And these are the labs that you can get from our site by going to jobskillshare.org, click on practice labs, and you will see how many labs we are providing, and then you can buy it through the membership. Now, you can buy this lab, the training lab for Active Directory, just a single lab, which is going to be around $89 something, or if you can go for the bigger one, then premium membership is already right here. You can also get this lab for free, all the 200 labs for free, if you pay for the membership plus, which is only $30 lifetime. So you get 5 days free access to our premium labs, which is kind of cool. If you're trying to just learn for Active Directory, you can really don't have to spend much, just $30. Okay, so here's what you are going to get, and I'm going to be showing this labs in my 2018 training video. Now, a lot of people come to the platform, or even in these videos, they're so highly rated, but there are going to be people that are going to say, first skip the 5 minutes and then just go to a training. Now, this is not what I'm trying to do over here. There are many videos that just go straight to the training, but because there are so many people, they are coming from different environments, different background, that don't know the basics of how are we actually, what is Active Directory and why am I going to know this stuff. This is the most important thing in my channel, that I like to give full information, even though I'm still not doing a full 100% job in there, but still I don't want to just create a video on YouTube and then that's it. It's like a training based video, so I'm going to give things a little bit more time. And so this is where I request everybody to have some patience while watching these videos, because if you know all the stuff, please skip it for 3 minutes and you will get to the training. Okay, First, I want to explain something. When you start in a company and when they are saying that, in the skills right here, extensive experience supporting users in Windows Active Directory environment, that does not mean you need to create an Active Directory or you need to know about some really advanced stuff like domain controllers and things like that, but you should know what it is and stuff like that. So we are going to draw a little bit my poor designing right here, poor drawing. So as you can see, this is a business right here. Okay, most of the businesses usually have many computers and many users. We know that. So we're going to call this block, let's say, a computers and users. Let's say these are 300 machines right there. Okay, and 300 users in this block, and then you as a help desk person, you are going to be in charge of these 300 machines right here and 300 users and everything. So the thing about this is that how do you manage them? This is the most important part, and this is why so many people ask for Active Directory questions in interview, because this is going to be kind of like your, if I'm not going to say daily, then you're definitely working on a weekly basis related to Active Directory somehow. It is going to be a resetting password, adding a computer, changing a name, adding someone to a group, giving somebody permissions. So Active Directory is very heavily used in a Windows environment, and most of the time when you get these help desk type of jobs, this is what you're going to be working on. Even if it's not Active Directory, even if you know about Active Directory, then you can easily understand something other than Active Directory. If Linux environment is using something else, then you probably know that, but most of the time we use Active Directory. Okay, so this is where you have a server, and then in that server there are going to be, let's say, a virtual environment or a physical environment. There's going to be a domain controller, and on that domain controller you will have Active Directory, and then you as a help desk person will be managing that Active Directory. Now you're not going to be troubleshooting Active Directory. That is more of a system admin job, and network engineers or whoever is responsible for servers. But you are definitely going to be working with the users and managing these computers. Now again, this may not be a full explanation, so I want to tell you something, that we have created a full course on this Active Directory User Management Library course. Now this video can be used as a summary or maybe a starting point for you to understand before you go to the job or interview. But if you're totally interested in knowing every single thing and how to add a users and really like deep stuff, then you need to really get into this course. First you will start with a help desk if that's what you want to get, like a help desk position. But if you were trying to just preparing for Active Directory, then take this and use this video as a summary. Okay, so going back to our drawing right here, there. So here, this is where you manage the Active Directory. Okay, if you don't have Active Directory, then basically like think of yourself like your laptop at your home. This is your laptop. Let's say this is your laptop, and this laptop is basically a work group environment. So this laptop is not managed. So let's say in your home we buy 5 more laptops. Those 5 laptops are going to be unmanaged, meaning every laptop will have its own administrative accounts or accounts that you will not be able to access them or do anything with it. If somebody lost their password or something like that, then you really need to know their passwords or get into that laptop and do something with it physically, or like it's going to be very manual job to reset the passwords or get into that laptop. But here, if somebody forget their password, you just log into the Active Directory environment, either using like administrative tools on your machine or maybe directly going to the server and resetting the password, and this person can get in, or you can lock them out and things like that. Okay, so that's it. I hope you guys know a little bit background behind this, but how do we start this practically now? This is where a lot of people say, hey, I want to know these practice, where do I practice? So the best thing about these labs are that we give you, there's so many labs that you can actually work on 2008 server, you can work on 2012 server, or you can work on 2016 server. And this is why I like the 2018 video, because I'm combining everything in this, because one of my videos, if you look at my older videos, there are 2008, then it goes to a 2012, and then it goes to 2016. Here you can actually practice on all of these servers. The cool thing about these labs are that we provide every single lab, or here like a Microsoft based lab, have its own domain controller set up for you. And this is exactly what will happen for you, when you go to the environment, a domain controller will be already set up for you. You as a help desk just need to know now how do you basically work in Active Directory or reset passwords and basic things. So which lab would I recommend first if you guys want to start? And of course, anyone would like to start with a new lab. So if you go all the way down, even though the lab may say something else, maybe it is designed for something else, but like I said, it has its own domain controller. So let's say, for example, if I pick this one, networking with Windows Server 2016, and I open this lab, and I will just basically go in there, and let's say I'm going to pick something right on the bottom, so where I know everything is set up. I'm going to click on start. Now forget about what you see on the left side. What I'm interested is in everything on the right side, which is a domain controller, member servers, another member server, and a computer right here, and a Windows 10 machine. This is a perfect new environment or a mixed environment that you will need to work on, okay, if you get to a help desk job. Now the thing about this is that when you become a help desk, you're going to be working on two different environments. Like, maybe you're going to be working on Windows 7 and Windows 10 at the same time, or Windows 10 or Windows 8, but you will still need to know about the domain controller. So give this a minute. If you buy this lab, you can buy like a single lab. I'm going to show the link. You can actually get this lab for 1 year, or like I said, you can just try that 30 days, the 5 days trial with the plus membership, which is $30, or you can buy the full labs. If you want to become a real IT pro, then I prefer you go for the full, because then you will have 1 year access to all of these labs, and of course you will need these labs, actual labs then. So as you can see, I'm going to close the first basic information about this lab, and this is where the domain controller is starting right now. On the right side, you see that there's a group policies, everything is getting applied right now, and I'm going to turn on the other machines too, like this one. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to turn on Windows 10. Now if you see that the device is disconnected, this could be your Wi-Fi connection, but again, it is simple. Click right here, this little connect thing, and once you do that, and right now the connection is established, and there you go, you see the lab inside that server. Now this is a 2016 server. As you can see, it's a new server, and once it gets started, this is why I prefer these labs, because if you're practicing and your job is not to learn about servers, then you're saving this time actually. Even in a VirtualBox you can do that, but still that's another time for you to spend on. Now that is not something you should be focusing on in the beginning, because your focus is help desk skills related to this stuff right here. I'm going to try to cover all these things one by one, but today I'm covering Active Directory. But you can see this doesn't require anything with servers or stuff like that, which is more advanced and a different title. So your focus over here is the reason I'm sharing this, because it makes your life easy to practice on these different things. If I want to jump into a different server, I can just simply click here, and now I'm in a different server right here. If I can go on M2, I'm in a different server right here. All of these servers are brand new, but you notice that this server don't have an Active Directory. This server don't have Active Directory. This is a domain controller right here. This one have an Active Directory, and you can see right here ADDS. How do you get to Active Directory? You simply click on Tools right here, and then Tools, you have Users and Computers. Now this is where a lot of people are like, skip to this part, because the training actually starts right here. Before this, I wanted to explain everything, how do you get to these labs and everything, but now this is where Active Directory training is basically started in a basic way. Now first of all, this is Active Directory, and most of the time when you work in a company, they're not going to give you direct access to a domain controller. Usually that is kind of like secure computer, and a lot of people don't want you to log in directly to a domain controller other than managers or system admins, and they even don't log into it that many times, because it's pretty important server. So what computer usually have access is like Windows 10, like that. And in Windows 10 you get like a remote tools where you can basically install some type of tool from internet, and I have showed that in a video in a course too. And then basically what happens is when you install that, you get access directly to this Active Directory environment through that tool. Now of course that gives you more access depending on your access level, but this is where you are accessing your Active Directory, and most of the system admins do the same thing. They will have that tool installed on the computers, and then they can see everything from their machines. Okay, so here, number one call, a lot of people will ask you in the interview, do you know how to add a user in Active Directory? Then your answer should be yes, because it is pretty simple. By adding a user, simply right click on the user, and then you go to new, and then here you click on user. Now this is exactly what you will be doing if somebody new start job in your company, and an HR manager or someone sends you an email that we have a new person. Please add that person to the Active Directory environment. Or you could have a vendor, or you could have any scenario like a testing environment. You will be doing this kind of stuff. It's a very typical job. Like you will be doing this. It's a very normal stuff that you need to know how to add a user in Active Directory. So here we are going to, let's say, add a user here, Dkhan, and I'm going to basically call it Dkhan here too. Now this is where a lot of people will ask questions, and how do I know what kind of users do I need to use, and how did you know, why did you use the first initials and last name? Usually this depends on a company policy. They can say that you can use the first initials and last name, or they probably will say they use like a date of birth to make it a little bit different. Maybe there might be another Dkhan, Daniel Khan, or something like that, so then they can come up with their policies, and that's something they will share with you. Okay, then you'll click on next. Again, this is another piece where you need to know the policy of your company. They may be using a very strong password, they may not be using strong passwords. So here I'm going to put some password in here, and most of the time a company policy will tell you that make sure that you put user must change the password at next logon. Usually this means that as soon as a user log into a different machine, it will get a prompt that, hey, your temporary password expired, please change your password, and this you need to put a new password in there. So again, that is up to your policies, and then you click on next. Password did not match. Nice. I mean, that is what we do. Nothing matches first time. So I'm gonna do something very simple, and that's it. I finished it, and I added that person right there. So now this is a normal person that you just added. What if they send you a message? Another call could be this. These are all like tickets. These are all calls, or these are all emails that you're going to get into your environment. Someone will call you now that Dkhan, we need them in our publication department group or something like that. Then how do you add this person to a group? And usually groups have to do something with access. Do you want to give this person access to like a folders and things like that? Then you may want to add him, or maybe an email. So member of, and then you go to the member of, and then you add that, and then here whatever group that you want to add this person to, you can add them. Now what if this Dkhan was my colleague, an IT person, another help desk? Then I want to give him more rights, like domain admin. Let's say I'm gonna add him to domain admin, or maybe lesser rights. It depends on whatever group have what kind of rights. So here you add Dkhan to the admin group, and then apply. And now every time Dkhan logs into other computers, Dkhan will be already an administrator. So this means, remember that 300 machines that we were talking about here, when these 300 machines, when Dkhan, let's say I assign something to Dkhan, then you need to go out and install the software on many machines. Now there are two ways. You could do it manually, or you could push it out. Now push it out, you learn that in the course, is more advanced skill. But let's say you are going directly to these computers, then Dkhan don't need to log them off, log back in. Dkhan can just run that application, and it will prompt for a username and password, and Dkhan can put the username and password in that prompt, and that application will be installed. And that is kind of like the beauty of Active Directory, that everything is done from few clicks. What else can you get from Active Directory? Active Directory usually is very known for password resets. A lot of people will ask you in interview, can you reset a password for Dkhan, or can you reset a password for users in Active Directory? Can you show me the method? Simply, you can say right click on the user, and then you click on reset password, and here you will use the new password, and then whatever method you want to use. Sometimes people will log into the machines and they will type 7 or 8 or 10 times and then lock themselves out. How can you unlock them? Simply the same method. You basically right click over here and then go to the reset password, and then you can actually unlock a user from here. Okay, that's one way. And there are other scripts that I have shown in the course. You can actually download those scripts without getting into Active Directory. You can type Dkhan in that script, and in a nice graphical way it will show that Dkhan is locked out, and now click on unlock and it will unlock them. That is something that I have shown in that course. It's a free course. Okay, other things, maybe people get married and they want to change their last names, so maybe you will need to come down to properties or renaming them. So maybe you need to change their names over here, the last name or department name, and these can all be calls to you. These, every single thing can become a call. Like someone say my telephone number changed, someone say my organization, meaning my title changed. That's something very common, right? People start from one title and then change to a different title, then you change everything from here. So this is all about users and in learning about users and things like that. If you're really interested in knowing more about user side, then make sure you go to this course. Again, I want to stress this again, it is a free course. You only pay for when you want a certification or some advanced skills at the end. I mean, I have done a lot of these, like I have probably provided this course for free for a reason, because I wanted to give a complete free course, not just few videos and then you get stuck in somewhere. The new method is that we are not providing new videos for free, like like in this course, but everything that I have done so far is until the last video, all these are for free. So anything that is new now is not free. Okay, so you can see right here, adding a user account, managing computers and stuff like that, everything is done over here. Alright, another question could be, can you tell me if this computer is on Active Directory or is this on a Workgroup computer? So let's, for example, this is a Windows 10 machine and someone is testing your practical skills right now. They may just put this computer in front of you and tell you, can you tell me if this machine is on Active Directory? And simply you just need to go to right click on it and go to the settings, and of course in Windows 7 you'll go to properties by going to like my computer, stuff like that. And then when you click on systems, you see right here on the bottom it says domain. Domain is connected to practicelabs.com. So if you go back to your domain controller, what is this right here? practicelabs.com. So sometimes people can just like kind of ask you some of very basic questions. I mean, this is very important for you to know that how to connect a computer to a domain, and knowing the difference for a help desk person, this should be known to you. You cannot just take your A+ and say that I know all of this stuff by not giving them something basic like this. This is going to be a very basic thing that someone can test you, and they will immediately find out that you really don't know anything about help desk environment, because this is a main thing. Anything that you do like troubleshootings or things like that has to come back to Active Directory, because that's how things are connected at the first place. So if you don't know this, then it's going to be hard for you to even troubleshoot many other things. So here you find that out. And how do you actually add a domain? Let's say this computer was a Workgroup computer. Let's say the domain on the bottom says Workgroup. Then how do you add it? Click on change settings and then go to change right here, and in change you will put that domain name in here or whatever initials they have provided. Sometimes they will just use a suffix, which is kind of like a, basically if I use like let's say practice, or maybe as a PC, and I can just type that, and then a DNS will take care of it, and then you will get prompted, and then this is where you use your domain admin account or your administrative account. Use that, and this computer will be automatically joined after that to Active Directory. It is going to tell you to restart the computer, and then you will see that computer name over here. If I delete this computer from here, what will happen if I try to log in to this Windows 10 again with my account? It's not going to work, because you just drop the connection between a domain controller, Active Directory, and that computer. They both lost the connection. And usually when that happens, you will log into this machine as a local account. Then also in a help desk environments, we keep our local accounts with us, and we have different ways to do that. So basically you log into that machine, you take this machine out of Active Directory, you put it on Workgroup again. You can name it Workgroup here, or you can name some other things over here, and then say okay, restart the machine, and then re-add it to the domain controller, that Active Directory again, and that's it. Everything is connected back. You will see the machine inside, and that will be a fix. It happens, trust me, in the real world. Sometimes your machine will lose a connection with your domain controller if things are not set up correctly, or maybe something is weird is going on with your domain controller, Active Directory, or any other things. Then yes, you may come across these type of issues. So this is one thing that I have discussed, and I have made a whole video, a real world video right here. So go to YouTube, type John computers to Active Directory and profile setup, and the computer, this is our video from Job Skill Share. So click on that, and it's a 15 minutes video. It shows you real world how do you do things. Well, let's connect it, let's connect it to a domain controller. Oh, there you go, it got connected. Now let's go and set up the profiles. I really want you to watch this video before you go to your job, and I'm telling you, you will love it. So the last thing that I want to share in this basic video is these are the major two things, like users, groups, computers, and most of the time you're just basically right clicking on it. You're not doing too much over here, but you're actually doing something with the user. So you right click on here, and most of your calls are going to be related to these sections. So I want you to take that course, look into these sections, and try to come up with your own questions, and of course that will really help you. The last thing that I want to share is search ability. You should be able to search in Active Directory, like by going to here or some other ways also. So here, if someone say someone call me directly, and I know that this, let's say in user session there's like, let's say 1,000 people. I know it's going to be a little hard for me to find that person, so searching ability and knowing this would be really helpful. All you have to do is to now find, let's say in this, because this is a new lab, the decon went away, I'm just gonna move that, and I'm just gonna type, let's say admin right now for now. So you see administrator came up. So let's say if this person name was administrator, I could really quickly find that. If it's something that you have to do with, like, finding out like something entire directory, maybe this user that you moved from user account to somewhere else, and then you have to do entire directory over here. So when you click that and then find it, you will find that person. Sometimes you you want to find computers. So you see the first option doesn't give you computer option. So sometimes you may be looking for a computer and you're like, why am I not getting results? That is because you're actually not picking the computer over here. So when you pick that, everything should be good. You can also use the browse option and to do more things with it. Like for example, you can see you can pick entire directory from here also. And this is where you can search accounts, and again when you right click on it, these are the same features that you get. So you can actually disable the account, you can reset the password again, you can move them. Sometimes disabling an account could be also a call when somebody, let's say, leave the company or they get fired or something like that, then you need to know how to disable the account immediately. Then this would be something that you will be doing on Active Directory. So I hope this video is kind of like a video for you to get confidence before you go to job. Let's say you are the person trying to apply for this job and you have A+ certification and you never knew anything about this. Now you should know. After this training and after taking that course, I suggest you to take the certificate, because all of these people, most of them get the certification and then they can show that certificate on the resume. And you should actually watch our other videos too, where we define our value of a certification. Why is this so different than A+ certifications? And our certification or a combination can give you a really good chances, and that's how a lot of people have done it. Go to these videos and try to read these comments and look at the comments, and you will find out that how many people have actually landed a job by just watching these videos. This is amazing. So this is why I say this is so important videos, and I keep doing it. Almost every 2 years I try to update them, so a lot of people take benefit out of these videos. The major difference between this video is that now you have labs from us, so you can actually get this lab, a single lab from us for 1 year. So you can come here and you will have 1 year access to domain controller, 1 server, 2nd server, and the 3rd server, and also 2 machines. That is enough for you to actually do so many things in that 1 year in just one lab. You don't even have to worry about what's going on the left side. You can actually practice everything on the right side on your own things that you can do in 60 minutes, and you can keep. Yeah, these 60 minutes are not like like other Microsoft labs, like where they give you, let's say, 80 minutes. And in 80 minutes you have to do things, or else you don't have an option to make that 80 minutes go back to 80. Here the best thing is that you can go back to 60 again and again till you finish whatever you are doing. So that's it, guys. I hope this video is beneficial to you also, like other videos. Let me know what you guys think, and if you want me to add something more next time in the next basic video, I'll try to do that. But again, don't forget, you have a full free course available to you. Thank you.